Young and the Restless spoilers February 18th, Nikki vows revenge. Jack challenges Billy over the Newman takeover, Nikki vows revenge against Phyllis, and Victoria reveals her plan to take Billy down in Wednesday's Y&R episode. The champagne has barely dried on the corporate takeover, but the hangover is already hitting Genoa City hard. The Abbott-Newman feud has entered a vicious new chapter, and Wednesday's episode of The Young and the Restless promises to detonate the fallout from Billy Abbott's stunning victory over Victor Newman. As the dust settles, it's not just about boardrooms anymore. This is personal. Nikki Newman is vowing revenge, Jack Abbott is throwing a wrench in his brother's celebration, and Victoria is quietly assembling a plan that could bring Billy to his knees. The victor's Pyrrhic victory. Billy Abbott, Jason Thompson, walked into the Chancellor offices this week believing he had finally achieved the impossible. Not only did he wrestle control of Chancellor Industries back from the mustache, but he also handed Newman Media to Sally Spectra, Courtney Hope, as a twisted love offering. For a man who has spent years living in the shadow of his brother and his own demons, this felt like vindication. But as Y&R spoilers reveal, Billy's victory lap is about to be cut short. On Wednesday, February 18th, Jack Abbott, Peter Bergman, storms in to throw a major curveball at his younger brother. While Billy expects Jack to be jealous, assuming the elder Abbott is simply pissed off that I'm the Abbott that bested Victor Newman, Jack's motives run much deeper. Jack isn't just concerned about corporate ethics, he's terrified for his brother's soul. Jack sees what Billy refuses to acknowledge, observers note. Having watched Billy self-destruct through gambling scandals and shattered relationships before, Jack recognizes the tunnel vision. He sees a man standing in the wreckage of his personal life, clinging to a CEO title as proof of his worth. Jack's warning is likely a grim prophecy. Victor Newman never loses. He may retreat, but he always comes back stronger. Jack's concern is that by the time Victor finishes his counterattack, Billy will have nothing left, no company, no family, and no future. Nikki's wrath. The Newman matriarch strikes back while Jack tries the diplomatic approach. Nikki Newman, Melody Thomas Scott, is done talking. Spoilers for February 18th confirm that Nikki vows revenge against an enemy, and while the teasers are slightly ambiguous, the target is clear. This isn't just about losing Newman Media. This is about watching her husband, Victor, be outmaneuvered by a coalition of schemers she despises. Nikki's rage is laser-focused on two people, Billy Abbott and Phyllis Summers, Michelle Stafford. Phyllis didn't just help Billy steal Chancellor, she chloroformed Kane Ashby, Billy Flynn, and signed over Victor's empire while he was distracted. To Nikki, this is an act of war against her family. Having spent decades fighting to protect the Newman legacy, Nikki is not about to sit quietly in the ranch while the people who attacked her husband celebrate. But who is the specific target of her vengeance? It's likely a dual threat. Nikki knows that Billy is just the sword. Phyllis is the hand wielding it. And as the episode progresses, Nikki's fury will likely set the stage for a collision course that makes the previous boardroom battles look like polite business meetings. Victoria's plan. Going for the jugular. Perhaps the most dangerous threat to Billy's happiness isn't coming from the Newmans of the older generation, but from his own ex-wife. Victoria Newman, Amelia Heinel, is done being a victim of Billy's chaos. On Wednesday, Victoria shares her plan of attack with Nate Hastings, Sean Dominic, and it is reportedly a risky plan that could change the custody and family dynamics in Genoa City forever. Victoria has already warned Billy that his actions have consequences. Following the takeover, she threatened to open the eyes of their children, Johnny and Katie, to exactly what kind of man their father is. While Victoria would never intentionally manipulate her kids, she sees no reason to shield Billy from the fallout of his own choices. If the children see their father choosing corporate warfare over stability, Victoria is prepared to let those chips fall where they may. This is a devastating move. Billy has spent years trying to prove he is a good father despite his impulsive nature. If Victoria succeeds in painting him as a man willing to destroy family ties, including the Newman connection, for a power grab, Billy could find himself isolated from the very people he claims to be fighting for. The shifting sands of Genoa City. While the Abbott-Newman war dominates the headlines, Wednesday's episode serves as the pivot point for several other major stories. The fallout from Mariah Copeland's Cameron Grimes breakdown and the kidnapping of Dominic continues to ripple through the community. Tessa Porter, Kate Fairbanks, remains torn between her past with Mariah and her newfound romance with Daniel Romalotti, Michael Graziadei. Meanwhile, Kane Ashby is licking his wounds and plotting. After being chloroformed and double-crossed by Phyllis, Kane is desperate. He believes the lives of his ex-wife Lily, Crystal Khalil, and their children are genuinely at risk due to Victor's machinations. Spoilers indicate that Kane will soon seek an alliance with Daniel, hoping to turn Phyllis's son against her in a shocking revenge plot. Conclusion. Wednesday's episode of The Young and the Restless is shaping up to be a powder keg. With Jack trying to save Billy from himself, Nikki sharpening her knives for revenge, and Victoria preparing to use the most personal weapon in her arsenal, their children, the battle for Genoa City is escalating beyond the boardroom. The question remains: when the dust settles, will anyone be left standing? Billy may have won the company, but as Jack warns, he is losing everything that actually matters. And in Genoa City, that kind of loss is the deepest cut of all. The Young and the Restless airs weekdays on CBS.